Welcome everyone to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV: The Road to Heavensward, and this is episode 7. We have been asked to deal with a brand new primal, that of Moogle Mog XII, I believe, and he has been summoned by the Moogle's Guard. Apparently, the Moogles are still relatively uneasy after our recent battle with the Gridanian Empire. So, we got the basics of the information, but we're going to have to select the next quest, which is you have selected Regicide. This will most likely open up the bit. This will most likely be the quest to actually take him on. Now, if you haven't done so, and this is your first time battling Moogle Mog, you may want to quickly transfer over to YouTube and look up a guide for this, because in the past, like in Shadowbringers, when that was the up-to-date expansion, there was a definite sequence that you had to attack the Moogles and the king. We'll see if that's currently the case. But anyway, this is who we need to speak with. You have selected Regicide. The wards barring access to the King's Sanctuary can only be nullified through the use of enchanted keystones. The self-same method employed 5 years ago, when the first king was summoned to Eorzea. It was with great regret that we were forced to sanction the slaying of the guardians who then held the keystones, for none were in our possession at the time. By the grace of the elementals, however, we have been spared that burden on this occasion. Kuplo Kop confided in me that he had been entrusted with a set of keystones by the Moogle's Guard themselves. Yet, wishing not to betray their confidence, he begged me to find some other means to gain entry to the King's Sanctum. Alas, I have been unable to do so, and dare not labor any longer for fear that the Moogles might succumb to the corrupting influence of their liege lord. We must needs have Kuplo Kop's keystones, Lightbringer. Pray, go to him and beg his assistance. He awaits you at Wet Shore Pier. Impress upon him the great need I am certain he will yield. Okay, so if we click on the white text, Wet Shore Pier, that is the pier that is next to the Lancers Guild that goes to the East Shroud. So we can easily take the Aetheryte system over there instead of having to run through the whole town. So, how will you do it, Kupo? Oh, he told you about that. Well, if there's truly no other way, I'll do it, Kupo. Take the ferry to Sweet Bloom Pier. I'll go on ahead. Okay. Talk to the ferryman, looks like we have, and go to Sweet Bloom Pier. Don't you dare lie to me, Kupo. I know what you're planning, and I won't allow it. Open your eyes, Kupo. The king will never be satisfied, no matter how many crystals you bring him. We offer you a choice, and this is how you repay us? By consorting with this, Ra? That's our race. Imperials, Gridanians, Sylphs, different from the rest of them. Actually, you're worse, Kupo. Traitor to the King's Moogles. He plots treason against the crown. Enough. Kuplo Klop will answer for his crimes soon enough, as will all who defy the the will of good King Moogle Mog XII. May his reign forevermore, Kupo. The king is planning to purge the 12wood of his enemies, Kupo. We got to stop him before it's too late. The entrance to the Thornmarch is deep within the bramble patch, Kupo. If you take me there, I can nullify the ward, but be warned. The Moogle's Guard has set traps to lure enchanted beasts. I can't hide from them, so you'll need to protect me, Kupo. Escort Kupo Cup safely to the warded entrance. Should you fail to defend him or move too far away, he will return to Sweet Bloom Pier, where you may rendezvous. Okay, so we have an escort mission. And if we fail, we need to restart from this point. Okay, so he will be behind. You may want to scroll out so you can actually see, so you can see him. Part of my hunt. Yep. As you can see, Kuplo Cop will heal slowly after each encounter. Oops. Okay. So if you go up this path, you're going to go up to a hidden church in this area. Here, so you don't want to go up this path. You don't want to go down this path. We need to go through this log here. If you're kind of confused with minimap, bring up your main map, and they'll certainly tell you. Okay, wait until this wears off. There we go. And there is our destination. We're here, Kupo. I don't see any more beasts, do you? Are you ready to face the King, Kupo? Let's step closer to the ward. Raise your hand and focus, like when you attune to an aetheryte, Kupo. I'll open the way for you. All the rest is up to you, Kupo. Now go and teach those foolish Moogles a lesson, and send the king back to where he came. Yep, so our next trial is the Thornmarch Hard. Alright, off to Thornmarch Hard. And we're in a 8-person group this time. So the fight has been simplified a little bit because I just watched a guide for it. But it's still probably going to be a bit of a challenge for the first time through. Now in this first part, you're going to have to deal with few smaller Moogles at once. See, yep, now there's new ones. Make sure you keep your heads on a swivel. Yep. Oh yeah, there's a counter Moogle that will cure, and he can cast Holy as well. Okay, you want to make sure at least one person is standing in each of these circles so they light up, otherwise this turns into a really bad AoE. And here you're going to see a little dance. So the small Moogles he summoned cannot be targeted. You gotta watch for their mechanic. The other one has a circle, and here we have a stack up. And now we have that spread out circle. You don't want those to overlap. Again, that little guy, he's not targetable. You gotta watch out for what his... Okay, see it. First one was here. So stay in the third one. Stay in this third circle. And once that cleared, let's pass into the clean area. And then avoid the cone. No, that red circle, that's not a stack up. That is a tank buster. So only the tank should get into that red cross symbol. So now the mechanics will repeat. Okay, remember get into each circle to avoid the AoE. Okay, now remember, strike symbol. When you have, ow. Get our tank buster. And that is the Thornmarch. Remember to leave a commendation and roll on the loot. You did it, Kupo. You did it. Good King Moogle Mog XII, may his mighty soul rest in peace, is no more. I shudder to think what might have happened had you not stopped the Moogle's Guard when you did. Thank you, Lightbringer. Perhaps now they'll come to their senses and stop playing at fairy tales. Rest assured that the chieftain will have choice words with them, too. You should go and tell Pukni Pak that the king is no more, Kupo. She's with Rhea O at Camp Tranquil. She can relay the news to the chieftain. So no, you can repeat this to get Moogle type weapons. But let us go to the South Shroud and update said Moogle. Yeah, I believe we're just probably just to the north of Camp Tranquil. Anyway, we're just outside Camp Tranquil. And if we keep going this way, we'll go to Druthers, with Scarin Druthers. But on this little side step here, you will notice that Rhea Osena is sitting here watching. And on the Moogle we need to speak with is here. But one little tidbit, for those of you who are currently at this spot in the game as a conjurer, you already know all about Rhea Osena. But if you take up the conjurer, that eventually goes into the white mage. And so Rhea here will become your teacher. So, and you can almost always, at least from how far I've gotten, you can always find her here. Later on in later chapters, I don't know if she moves or not. I kind of doubt it. But little tidbit of information for you. Pack. Do I dare believe my ears? Good King Moogle Mog XII, may his magnificent virtues serve as an example to all of us, has fallen? All Mooglekind owes you a debt, Kupo. Ah, and I sense Rhea wishes to congratulate you as well. I shall let the two of you speak without fear of interruption. On the properties of Primals. Your bravery in service to the Twelveswood and her Moogles shall not be forgotten, Lightbringer. My sister will doubtless wish to hear the tale of this great victory from the mouth of the woman responsible. Pray, return to the Lotus Stand and treat her to a full account of the day's events, while the details are yet fresh in your mind. And we'll simply use our return spell, since Gridania is our home port. Lightbringer, you have returned to us, unharmed and victorious. Thus I have two reasons to be glad. Yet many questions remain unanswered. If you would be so kind to oblige me, I would fain hear all that occurred in Thornmarch. We tell him that it was as we feared. The king really is a primal. But he really isn't, is he? I mean, the Moogles don't worship him, for one. He's not even a god to them. That doesn't sound like any primal I have ever heard of. Then mayhap the fault lies with the definition. The fact remains that, though a combination of power contained in the crystals and the force of their collective faith, the Moogles called forth a being that by right should not exist. Moreover, when slain, said being left no corpse, in the ether which comprised him instead being scattered to the four winds. According to the accepted definition, he may not be a primal, but the mode of his manifestation was in every respect the same. Which means, Scions, the whole business reeks of their handiwork. Kupo Po, they said it was a masked man who taught them how years ago. But Gridania has no shortage of masked men, and I never thought it to question. Confound it all. How many more will they ensnare with their tainted gifts? Too many, I fear. So long as there are paragons to stir the embers, fools to build the pyre, and crystals to feed the flames. Ever and again shall we suffer primal visitation. A somber thought, but a salutary one. My heartfelt thanks, Lightbringer. Already, the information you have provided has proven invaluable. The Grand Serpent Marshal and I have much to discuss. Oh, before you do, my lady, I was hoping you might finish discussing the other matter. The matter of which you speak has even now been settled. The Scions shall not want for support. We should be glad to send additional supplies to Revenant's Toll. We knew we could count on you, my lady. While Yida and I remain to discuss the particulars of our arrangement with the Elder Seedseer, mayhap you could return to the Wakingsands and apprise a descendant of all that has transpired. It is good to see you, hail and hearty, Lightbringer. I received word from Yida and Pepalimo that you had felled good King Moogle Mog XII, but I had hoped to hear your version of the tale. So it was as they said, someone with the same methods used by the beast tribes and taught by the Scions. Though unfortunate, this incident did at least serve to remind the Elder Seedseer of our usefulness. Her offer of additional support could not have come at a better time. My thanks, Lightbringer. This is going to do it for today's episode, and we're actually one episode away from finishing patch 2.1. There are only 10 quests in that patch. However, we still have a ways to go before we get to Heaven's Ward. So if you haven't finished the 2 required quest lines, being a reoccurring problem where you have to confront the first 3 primals on hard, and the one that we still have to do, which is the very first raid series, which you get from talking to an individual at Revenant's Toll. We still have some time to do that. We'll most likely cover that between either patches 2 and 3, or 2.2 and 2.3, or between 2.3 and 2.4. But we still have patches 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, and 2.55. So we still have about 5 patches to go. But anyway, we will continue on with the next time with starting off with the Gifted, and we will see where that leads us. But anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day.